it's really like pronounced Tohlah.
I love the name.
Tola.
Tola.
Yeah.
Good.
But you don't have the accent. That's why I don't
That's why he
sound.
keeps trying to mess with me.
I
Like,
know, I know.
speak like a West Indian then. Why don't you speak like a West Indian then, okay?
Two black guys with good credit.
Welcome to Two Black Guys with Good Credit. Another episode of our new season. I know last time you saw Peter J sitting with us, but Peter was like, you got to meet my friend Tola. Tola is such this business guy. He's doing great things in the business world. He owns an event space in Bushwick. He's a crypto guy. He's well versed. So we went to Peter's favorite spot, his Dumbo House bougie spot that we're all trying to become members of. and I met with Tola, and I was like, the magic just happened.
Yes.
So
yes.
As our president says, Peter, you're fired. And no, Peter's behind the scene. He's still there. Shout out, Peter. Let everybody know that you're still here in the building.
Yeah, we here.
Exactly. And we I bring Tola up live, front and center. So first of all, everybody, I want to introduce my new co-host, Tola.
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to the show. Welcome to Black Guys with Good Credit. Thanks
Yes.
for being here. You want to give like a little 2 minutes about yourself, like actually 60 seconds.
For sure. So my name is Tola. I'm Nigerian businessman. I have an event space. I have a stock community that I teach thousands of mentees, and I've turned a lot of people into millionaires. So that's pretty much what I do. Stay-at-home dad and just help people further their life.
Exactly. Well, when Tola came to me and said, what are we going to do? What kind of show? I mean, we went in. With all the uncertainty going on, everything happened in this world, people are scared. And I always say scared money don't make money.
Yes.
And opportunities of change, regardless of what the change vehicle is, good or bad. It could be war. It could be a rallying market. Whatever the case is, change presents opportunities.
Absolutely.
So I thought with this episode, I'd gift you something.
Uh-oh.
I'd gift you something.
Oh.
And yes, this is a MAGA hat that I've gifted to you. And it's not that I am a MAGA supporter or not, and this is not a political show in any way.
Right.
It's really a show that just says like, this is the reality that we're living in. We're living in this MAGA world that we're living in now. Mm-hmm. But I don't want our listeners to be scared on the sideline, get absorbed with the news, and forgetting about all the opportunities that are out there.
Yes.
And a changing environment presents new opportunities, new wealth, new money. So I'm comfortable holding this, not threatening it, not fear with it. I may put it on for the first ever time in my life. Let me take it right back off because I don't want anybody freezing this shot out there and saying certain things. But it's really for you, my
Right.
friend, and for everybody else listening, to be comfortable and like put everything aside and let's just focusing on, because we're two black guys with good credit,
Good credit.
let's focusing on the opportunities that are ahead of us in this new environment.
Absolutely.
You agree? I know it's a lot, bro. I know it's a
Listen,
lot. I know it's a lot.
Thank you for the gift. We're going to actually change things up a little bit. We're going to make our audience great. All right? And how are we going to do that?
You're absolutely right. And this is what, in all seriousness, this is what this episode is about. Like, scared money don't make money.
Absolutely.
It's really getting people comfortable with this environment and just kind of laying out some opportunities are there as far as investing, as far as business startups, what they can do to take an opportunity because, this is when wealth is built, not when everything is going exceptionally well. Because right now, the people above you, the 1%ers, the people that are working in the cabinet in the Trump, the Elon Musk, they're out there getting these opportunities, closing in on these great deals. And even though, even if we get the trickling effect of that still can be a lot of money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of opportunity out there. And I just feel like being involved in business for so long as I have, I just hate to always see that people miss out on these opportunities because they get caught up in the day-to-day like
The
drama,
news and things like
and they
that, yeah.
forget that contracts are out there,
Yeah.
their employment opportunities are out there, and they're not hard to get. They're low-hanging fruit. During COVID, I got a contract to help make medical gowns, and it was a taking advantage, wrong word, but you're looking at what the current environment is and where the opportunity is. I could have been at my store still doing the same thing, waiting for customers to come in, but I had to attack the market in my way to figure out, to monetize so I can pay bills. Absolutely. So at the end of the day, I think we're in that similar scenario. So you're an investment guru.
Yeah.
Where would you think the opportunities lie in simple investing right now in the market? Where would you tell people to?
Yeah, I think the best things that you could actually invest in right now is AI, tech, fintech.
What type of businesses, startup should people do? What kind of government contracts should people be getting?
If you start a tech company, that's something that you could actually be investing in and make money off of. if you have
And what's specific during like these Trump years do you think would be like AI specific because of
yeah,
Elon?
definitely AI. I mean, it's hard to like build a crypto, but that's something that you have to invest in, right?
Right.
So to say. So you can't like really just like, hey, I'm gonna build a coin,
Right.
right? You could, but what is gonna be powered by that coin,
Right.
right? You have to be somebody really influential to like
And I always
really
say,
build a coin.
people always, especially young people now, they always want to go in right away, jump right in. I
Right.
think the thing is maybe work for an AI company, maybe understand the business, learn. And once
Absolutely.
you're inside the business, you can find
Then you can find your little niche.
your little niche. Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think even as far as type of businesses, maybe type of business even to be thinking to put yourself around. Let's go to commercial. This is two black guys with good credit. We got more coming for you on the type of business to survive in this MAGA world that we're living in.
Yeah.
All right, it's getting kind of heavy, but I really love where we're going. So,
sure.
what's another point do you think in
Yeah,
these Trump years?
I think in the Trump area, if you're big in cybersecurity, that's something that you could easily, make money off of in business. Also, like military contracts, as far as like guns and weapons, those are huge right now.
Right.
That could definitely bring you a lot of cash flow, right? So if you were to invest in those kind of businesses, you could definitely
Or
make a lot
start
of
them
money.
up. Yeah,
start
them
them up. Yeah.
Start them up. I think, when you listen to the news and what Trump and they're talking about, they're very big on defense and security.
Mm-hmm.
And defense contracts, military contracts are huge. And for those who don't know it, like Elon Musk has made majority of his wealth from government contracts.
Absolutely.
The whole space expedition, what is it,
Yeah.
is all
Starlink.
he's made his money from government contracts. So if for you entrepreneurs that are out there that don't think government contracts are a way for an entrepreneur to go, then you're absolutely wrong. So if you can get into any kind of defense contract, cybersecurity, and it could be as simple as providing socks, waterproof socks, shoes to the military, something of that nature, could do very well. But I think it's a reposition of thought. Another thing that I like too is manufacturing and domestic production.
Absolutely.
Like everything is America first. He's
Especially
ringing it
right
in
now.
your ears. America first, America first, America first, America first, America first. So if you can have a business that like competes with a product out of China, like a friend asked me, she got a contract to make police badges, and in the contract it said must be made in the U.S. So if you can look at simply scouring the internet, looking at items that are manufactured in China, anything, and if you're like, you know what, I'm able to beat the price of that.
Absolutely.
You have an opportunity, and then you can stamp on your product America first, made in America. Sorry, you're in the game. So I think the mindset should change too. About like if you're thinking about building things that can be easily built in America, would give you an opportunity in this current market.
Absolutely. I think right now, especially with the tariffs, if people are importing things, it's going to be sky high, right? But if you're able to build those things here
And avoid that.
you can literally become a millionaire overnight.
Exactly.
Right. So like to Sean's point, being able to see and assess, okay, what are people buying from China and outsourcing and bringing it into the U.S.? Can I make those things here, and can I now sell it? Right. So like even fruits, right? Fruits are coming from other countries and being
Exactly.
imported. The eggs are sky high right now, right? But if you're able to make those things here and sell it, now you can either sell it at a cheaper price or mark it up, and you're the one that's actually gaining on
You
that.
control and less red tape.
Absolutely.
Right. If you can, like I was born in Canada, and I'm not saying anything against Canada because I love Canada. God bless Canada. Oh Canada.
Right.
But if you can think of things that is imported from Canada and locally produce them,
Right.
and even fruit, like you said, from Mexico as well, like it's fruits and stuff like that, then you're in business. Farming could be
It's
is
huge.
on the come up.
It's huge. It's always been huge.
It's on the come up. We got to eat.
Right.
You got to eat.
But there's less and less farms here in the U.S.
Right.
So for the listeners out there, I think if you are, a farmer or you have a green thumb, that's something that you should definitely look into, because everybody got to eat. Food is essential.
Right. Another one I like is infrastructure development. There's so many projects that the government wants to do as far as modernizing transportation, utilities, construction. These are initiatives that you don't have to solve the problem, but there could be an easy thing that you can just piggyback off of.
Of course.
And you can even work for these companies that are into infrastructure development and growth, because then you'll see what opportunities, like you were saying earlier, are there. And I think if you're somebody under 30, in my humble opinion, it's not bad to spend a couple of years working for somebody and then figuring it out. Like, I'm going to plug them again. Verse Productions is here because these young ladies met at the workplace and they were like, we learned our skills from there. We got better. We learned that our boss's expense. And then we decided like, hey, we can branch out and now do our own thing
Right.
and monopolize and make our own money. But I think they wouldn't have been as far and advanced. They wouldn't have as much skills if they just decided out of college to be like, oh, let's just start our own production company. I think there's a gift in like working for somebody first and then going out there and doing your own thing.
Yeah.
So I think with all these different gems that we're dropping, I'm not saying for you to go start right away your own startup. Maybe that's what you want to do, is fine.
But it could be your own construction company.
Right, but to piggy bank
Yeah.
and learn, like I've spent a few years working for somebody before I decided to do my own thing. And I think what I learned from it is just good, best business practices.
Right.
Which I don't think you can get in a textbook.
Right, you can. But going back to your infrastructure thing, like things got to get built, right? So even if you want to go to school to learn the trade on construction and things like
Right.
that, learning how to build bridges and roads and things like that, it's going to be very pivotal right now.
Right.
Because that's what Trump wants, right? And if you can make money off of that, again, you're golden.
Correct. And I think the last one I want to harp on before we go back to another commercial break is like media and political consulting. Like, if you got to know your audience.
Absolutely.
So, if you can be somewhat of a strong right-wing media consultant for the White House, you probably got a job.
Of course.
If you're going to keep your political views aside and be able to just focus on the prize at hand, and I think, we all have our opinion of things. I do, everybody does. But sometimes, like when you're focused on business and growth, they may not always, like, your opinion, not your belief,
Right.
may not always align with the project at hand. And I just think that's
Absolutely.
okay. Because I think sometimes if you become too opinionated, you close the door on a lot of things. So I'm not telling you I would manufacture MAGA hats, or I'd be sitting as part of a cabinet member. That would be a personal decision I would have to make. I don't think personally I could do that. But could I be somebody that supplies certain things? Could I get a contract from the government to help? Of course, because, just like I think you can make money and bring it back to your community.
Yeah.
So I think you shouldn't shun away from like media opportunities, political opportunities that could benefit you
And your community.
And your community.
Absolutely.
I think because these capitalists, these 1%ers that are leading the government right now, these business people, they're focused on profit.
All the time.
And they're not as emotionally engaged or as you are. They're more focused on like where the contracts are, where the opportunity. And then you're the one on TV being like, well, he said this, he said that, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're focusing on where the money's going to be made. And sometimes you have to remember that.
Right. I think the thing about that too is a lot of you got the 1%ers, you got the 99%ers. Those 99%ers are the consumers
Right.
of all these goods, of these hats, of these clothing that we wear and everything, right?
Right.
And we need to switch our mindset from being the consumer to the person that's making these products.
Correct.
And that's where we essentially win.
Correct,
Right.
correct.
And I think all in all, like that 99% really needs to understand business. They need to understand how to invest. They need to understand how to actually grow money and not work for the money.
And not be concerned about all the political drama.
Absolutely.
You have to adjust, which I am adjusting every day, but you can't let it absorb you from focusing. Like I tell myself every day, like in this environment that, I'm not going to let it handicap me or hinder me in any way. I'm not going to let that prevent me from going out there and doing what I got to do.
That's deep.
Because I said, if you, I tell everybody, if you close your eyes and you were in a coma for the last 3 months and you woke up and somebody asked you who the president of the United States is, you would know from your day to day.
You probably wouldn't even care.
Right. So your focus should be more on what do I have to do in my day? And if I do need to navigate around some things, then you navigate around it. But the ball must keep moving forward, and the opportunities are changing as life goes on. That's just called life.
That's the best part of life.
If the Democrats won the election, there'd be a different mindset. There'd be
Absolutely.
a different thing. So it's just really just refocusing, re-strategizing. And at the end of the day, I can tell you this, America's going to be okay because it always is.
Always.
It always work itself out. You'll be the one that'll be set back because you're so consumed with what's happening. So with that being said, let's go to another commercial break. It's Two Black Guys with Good Credit. We got more to come. We'll leave them with some like last minute tips. How's that?
Oh, for sure.
You having a good time?
Yeah, I'm having an amazing time.
All right, cool. Two Black Guys with Good Credit. We'll be back with more.
All right.
And we are back, my brother.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna do some outro tips.
Yeah, for sure.
The first one I'm gonna give is don't be ignorant. Stay informed on like legislation, tax legislation, but like don't consume yourself with it, but just be informed. And then ask yourself how this affects me.
Right.
Because I'll be honest with you. Let me say the first thing. This is a pro-business environment we're in right now. There's not a lot of whistleblowers, overseers. The IRS is not going to be down your throat, and that can directly affect your personal finances and strategy. Like if you really focus in on the breaks and the less of the overseeing,
Right. So just to allude to that, like I think right now is a good time to diversify. Right. You want to diversify your portfolio. If you're trading in the stock market, diversify. If you're trading cryptocurrency, but also look into business. Right. So for the viewers, you want to make sure that you're actually looking to see where you can fit in, right? Especially with Trump in office, with infrastructure, with AI and tech, all those things, fintech, you want to make sure that you actually fit in and get somewhere inside of there that you could actually benefit from.
Yeah, and I good point. Like I always say, I get deals thrown at me a lot, and you just want to be ready to pounce on the great deals.
Absolutely.
And I think, leading to my point, that is practicing like financial discipline,
Right.
And always being diversified. Right. A lot of people will miss out on opportunities because,
they're not ready.
They're not ready. Their credit sucks. They're too deep in something else. Right. So you really want to be like to me, that athlete that never has an off season. Like when the season ends, he goes to he's in Kobe mode. He's in the gym the next day.
Get this.
Playing sports.
He's in Kobe mode, but you don't want to be Kobe that was by himself. You want to be the Kobe that has a nice team, that had Shaq, that had Derek Fisher, that had all these other people around him that made him also great and made the whole team great.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the part of investing that I'm talking about and understanding business.
Right, investing in the people around you, I agree with you, and bringing that good energy around you, absolutely. And in these times, with this Trump world that we're living in, you need to have that energy. You don't need that person that's like quoting every quote that he says, everything he says that isn't good, everything that the Democrats say, everything the Republicans, it takes you off course.
It does.
And you get drenched in, and you forget about growth, your personal growth. Right. And I've seen so many of my friends that are just like losing that,
right?
Because they're so caught up.
Everybody's consumed.
And sometimes I don't want to like the man. Sometimes that's what they want because it takes you off the focus and it keeps them on the money.
Right.
And by the time you figure it out, they have everything locked down, made all this money, and you're sitting there still complaining about how things were and where they need to go. Right. So I think you have to really have that discipline to say as simple as, okay, I'm going to watch an hour of news and I'm going to read 4 hours of business. I'm going to focus on my business. I'm going to focus on my growth. I'm going to focus on verse production. I'm going to focus on all these great things.
Atomic habits.
To make sure that you keep moving the pendulum forward and you take advantage of, and you find your medical gowns during this time.
I love that.
Yeah, I think those are my things. I think this was a great first show. It went in a direction that I always hope it goes into, right, and key learning. So I appreciate you coming on episode 2 of our new season.
Yes.
It's Two Black Guys with Good Credit. And we don't fear. The fear has gone. And as you see, I am going to comfortably put these right back in the Amazon bag where they came from and return these bad boys back. So it's Two Black Guys with Good Credit, and I'm out. Peace.
All right. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Two black guys with good credit.